At Thanksgiving in 2016, our family went to visit my sister's family in Thornton, Colorado. And we visited her church, Thorn Creek Church, the Sunday before Thanksgiving. And church was held at an apartment complex outside in the community. And afterwards, the church unloaded a semi-trailer full of Thanksgiving meals to needy families in the community. I had followed this food program from Thorn Creek for a couple of years. It's called Food for Hope, and was just amazed the impact that Food for Hope had on the community. Their initiative was called Feed 5,000, and it just boggled my mind that they were able to provide Thanksgiving meals for 5,000 families on this one weekend. And as I asked my sister about the program, she told me that Food for Hope actually had an even greater vision of sending food home on Fridays in backpacks with kids who experienced food security in the school district. And I thought to myself, we need to be doing this in our community. And that's a thought that never really left me. Being in full-time ministry, it's a very, very, very busy job, and I never had time to really pursue it. But in 2019, just felt like this persistent tug on my heart. God was saying, we still need this in our community, and you need to do it. So I reached out to everyone I knew in the school district administration, was eventually connected to Esperanza Orozco, who is the president of the school board, but also just has a huge heart for folks who are in need. And turns out she had the same dream in her heart that I did, and we put our heads together and our contacts together and added in a couple of other leaders, and HaysHope2Go was born. And while I think about the difficulty of waiting 3 years for this to come to fruition, I also think about how God perfectly positioned us to be ready to help when the pandemic hit in March of 2020. Because we launched at Thanksgiving 2019, and we sent food home with 257 kids for Thanksgiving break. We did it again for 257 kids at Christmas break. And then we started sending bi-weekly bags, weekend bags home for about 50 kids starting in January of 2020. But then when COVID shut everything down, we were able to pivot the weekend program and say, what is the best thing that we can do for our community? And the answer was, with grocery restrictions, with jobs being lost, and with minimal ability to move around the community during the quarantine part of it, we need to get food to people. And so with our amazing, generous community, that's exactly what we did. And we began to deliver weeks worth of groceries to families who needed it every week, starting last March and continuing even now. We still do it. And certainly the need for that has slowed down, but we're so grateful that we've been able to reinstitute the weekend backpack program, so that these days we're sending weekend food bags home with 102 kids every Friday. And we're still providing groceries, a week's worth of groceries for 10 to 15 families a week. And what that looks like, numbers-wise, is that we've provided over 150,000 meals for our community since November of 2019. And as I am working here today in the HaysHope2Go warehouse, I'm just struck with the gratitude of being able to be a part of it and seeing in hindsight what God was up to, what he planted in my heart in November 2016, what he planted in Esperanza's heart, and how he used both of us to do something, or to be a part of something that was sorely needed in our community. But we are just two small parts of a humongous effort that is only possible because we have a generous community with a lot of big-hearted people who also want to see our kids succeed. So I'm just grateful today for what God is doing through HaysHope2Go. I'm grateful that was a stepping stone for the foundation of Ancora Ministries, and I want to end by challenging you to think about what God may be up to in your life. And maybe you're struggling with some things, but look back on the last year or two of those struggles and see what you've learned from that. And see if maybe God hasn't been up to something in your life too, and thank Him for it. And then ask Him what He wants you to do with you next.